Happy Friday. There is so much going on that we need to talk about. And the first thing on our list of must speak of today is what everybody bawling about, at least from where I am sitting. The conversation has been consistent and the concerns have been great. Now, we know that the two major income sources or sources of foreign exchange into the hands of Jamaicans comes through tourism and overseas remittances. Now, it is a little bit interesting when you discover that remittances and earning from tourism are almost on par. Some days remittance is up by a percentage over tourism, and other days tourism is up a little bit over remittances. But ultimately, these two juxtapose each other. So, of course, the news, especially coming out of the US, where the vast majority of remittances from Jamaicans living overseas come from, is that there is going to be an imposition of a 1% tax on remittances outside the US. Namely, these are done by non US citizens. So it is good to get clarification on this, because it's not just anybody who goes to do a remittance that is going to be faced with this 1% tax. It is only people who are non-US citizens. So, who are some of these people? Green card holders, people who are on work programs. It might even be students who have an ability to work, because we're always looking to take care of the persons who remain home. The demand is of such that the person who gets a chance to go out and potentially earn needs to look back and commits to help. And so, even though you already are paying to send the funds home, now you will also need to pay a tax on it. So 1% might not sound like a lot, and in the grand scheme of things it is not. But you do the math. How much do you pay to send funds home? It varies by company, but you're gonna add 1%. So if you're spending $200, you are going to be sending 202 plus whatever that company charges for their fee. Now, the conversation that has been going on, it suggests that billions will be earned from this new system, because you see, the powers that be understand the strength of remittances and also realize how much is remitted. And so capitalizing on this is a big part of recovering funding for their own programs. So, of course, some of the thoughts that have been circulating, okay, we will just ask a citizen to send this money. That opens up a whole new bag of, should we say, worms? Because you see, people fall out over money all the time. And I will just tell you one little thing that happened to me years ago. Forgive me for moving my hand. I was back in Jamaica and I had a credit card in Canada. So at that point, I didn't have a way to get funds to Canada. I used Remittance and I sent money to an aunt of mine. Of course, you think it's a trusted person because it's your auntie. And the transaction was marked as received. And of course, she already had my Scotiabank information there in Canada. And she had the card that the payment should be used to be made towards. So of course I log on to my online banking from Jamaica, and I'm checking day in, day out for this money to be paid to my card. Because of course when it is paid, I can also be using the card in Jamaica to do my purchases. And I waited and I waited, and as respectfully as I can, because remember, I know it's my auntie, I reached out and I said, Auntie, what happened? Oh, you know, I didn't even get to go pick up the money. I'll go pick it up and I'll deal with it for you, fine. And then days and days and days. Oh, I pick up the money, But you see, to go from where I live to the bank is a whole lot of rigmarole. So I'll pay it soon. But the truth about it is, as they say, when you're handing a lion mouth, it takes time to pull it out. Because I knew a few things. One, the mall where the Scotia Bank was located was a mall that also had a lot of the shopping areas. And this particular auntie go to that mall almost every day. Then the thought too that it soon pick up, and the bottom line, let's not get into the dissecting of that. What I knew, the remittance center, I think it was Western Union, and the bank and her shopping places were all in the same mall. And she got the right to have access to the money for as long as she wanted, until she chose to pay it onto my card. It had to get to the point where it was almost time for the statement date, and I was not going to be charged interest. And we kind of had to get bad with her and say, Auntie, you're going to make them charge me interest. You have to go pay the interest because the money sent from when. Of course, by this time, we're on the edge of falling out. And I tell you that story for a very, very simple reason. Asking somebody to do remittance for you might not be the way to go. So, of course, the non-US citizen is needing to stand their hand with this 1% tax. The big thing that has been up for discussion is that the persons who were already having a struggle to send might send less and or might send less frequently. So we create a whole new circle of difficulty. So, and this message goes for people who are receiving remittances too. You need to be a little bit more considerate of the people who are sending. A lot of them are sending sacrificially. It has a lot to do too with the constant asking, not lumping all of your things into one figure and then just working with that, and then to stretching it, making it work. The dollar, the exchange rate has been going up. I know cost of living too has gone up. But my recommendation, and it's just a recommendation, see how you can cause more to be done with the amount you're getting. Because one of the things that you don't want to happen is that these people who are already so stressed and so distressed will decide, sure, me not send this month, me not send as much as me used to, or me not send at all. So, in the meantime, until this new tax becomes in effect, which will pretty much be December 31st, 2025, you might need to just send more. There are other ways to send, of course, and you'll have to explore and find what other ways work for you. And of course, the wonderful thing is become a citizen. So when you become a citizen now, they don't tax you. So much to say. I'd love to have a conversation. So speak to me in the comments. Has this affected, or will this be affecting you negatively as a non-US citizen? Will you be continuing to send? And will you send less, or will you send less frequently? Let's talk about this, because you see, as we are impacted, we need to find ways to probably even help each other on this journey to financial life and stability. Lots more to say. We'll say it in the upcoming video. So until then, ciao for now.